Hi, my name is Nikaira Miles, and I'm going to be answering the prompts for Module 3 on social structure and social interaction. Okay. While reading Chapter 4, I learned that sociologist Irving Goffman turned the theatrical term dramaturgy into a sociological term. In sociology, the term dramaturgy now meant that social life is like a drama or stage play. Goffman stated that birth ushers us onto the stage of everyday life, and our socialization consists of learning to perform on that stage. Just like how a stage play has performance roles and includes teamwork between others, so does the term dramaturgy in real life. Using role performance in real life, we all have different roles, like an employee, a friend, a daughter, or a wife. Within these roles, we play them in our specific style or how our role is meant to be interpreted. For example, being a mom and playing that role would mean that I protect my son, feed him all of his meals, provide shelter for him, and make sure that he has everything he needs. Although the role of mom might be different from others, this is my style of how I would play this specific mother role. Other moms might play this role by sharing responsibility with the father and making sure they're fed, while the responsibility of playing with the children goes to someone else. Since there are many different roles, sometimes these roles can conflict with one another. For example, being a CEO at a job might conflict in your role as a mother. Being a CEO and a mother means you might not be able to perform all of the tasks that you once included in your role as a mother. Working as a CEO means your job requires long hours away from home, so in return, you would have to share some responsibility of your mom role with others. It might mean you cannot take your child to school every day because you have early meetings, or you cannot go on field trips with them because of your work schedule. In our roles, we also utilize sign vehicles, which basically means how we communicate information about ourselves. One sign vehicle includes the social setting, which is where action unfolds. Just like in a stage play, there's a stage where the performance takes place. However, in real life, our performances may take place in our home while performing under the role of a mom, or in the classroom giving a presentation as a student. The second sign vehicle is appearance. While we are playing our roles, a CEO might want to appear educated and have a rich appearance, which means they might want to have an expensive car that they drive, wear expensive looking suits to work, and have a huge house to live in. By possessing these objects, the CEO wants to look wealthy to others and have others treat him with respect and admire him. The CEO might work out regularly and have a nicely shaven face to look more presentable to others that might not know him. In society, one is more likely to trust a CEO that has a cleaner appearance and shows up to meetings in suits versus a CEO that is late, looks like they have not shaved in a week, and is unkempt. Just like in a stage play, the performers must work together and use teamwork to make sure that the play goes as planned. Using teamwork in our roles in real life might look something like helping your friend do her makeup and hair for a wedding so that she looks like a beautiful bride walking down the aisle. By helping your friend make sure that she looks presentable, it helps maintain her image that every bride is supposed to look their best on their wedding day. In this situation, the stage would be the wedding, and the role players would be yourself and the bride and the rest of the bridal party. These roles that we play in our everyday life become so intertwined in our identity that it almost makes us forget who we are outside of the roles we play. I was in a relationship from about 18 years old to 21 years old, and being in that relationship and being a girlfriend made me lose sight of who I was without the girlfriend title. I was only 21 years old, and I had spent some important growth years tending to my boyfriend. So once that relationship ended, I had no idea what I liked to do or who I even was. Being an 18-year-old means that change is happening, moving out of your parents' house, gaining more independence, and making mistakes. However, because I was in a relationship, I never got to experience dating new people, going out with friends, or even enjoying alone time by myself. However, playing these roles help hold society together. Being a girlfriend or wife sometimes includes bringing children into this world, which helps make new generations. Also, being a girlfriend or wife means maintaining meaningful relationships with others and learning how to intertwine your life and your partner's life into one. According to sociologists Peter Berger and Thomas Luckman, social construction of reality is a concept that means that society is created by humans and human interaction. These two sociologists believe that any action that is repeated frequently becomes cast into pattern and will be performed again in the future in the same manner. I think that I apply social reconstruction of reality in many ways in my own life. One example that I can think of is when my nephew was born, his mom used to breastfeed him in public. I had never been around any newborns, so I had never seen a newborn be breastfed in public. After seeing this and then having my own child, I practiced breastfeeding in public because that is the pattern that I saw. That is the pattern that I saw. Sorry. Although some had negative opinions about it, I had seen my nephew be breastfed so many times that I incorporated it into my new normal. Another example of how I show social construction of reality is not speaking foul language around my parents or any elders. In my family, it is not acceptable to curse at all in front of any adults, no matter how mad you are, even if you are an adult yourself. Now in my adult life, I see my friends cursing around their parents, but because of how I was raised, I can never imagine cussing in front of my parents or at them. Lastly, another example that I learned is that it is okay to spend money on materialistic things. Growing up, my family constantly spent money on new shoes for my brother's sports activities, on hotels for out-of-state tournaments, and paid for personal trainers, and it was a necessity to them. My family incorporated sports and expenses related to sports as if it was another bill for the household. Now that I have my own son, I'm already conditioned to think that he will play sports when he gets older, and it is okay to spend hundreds of dollars on the sport of his choice because it is part of his lifestyle. Sociologist Emily Durkheim was very interested in what held society together when it is made up of people with special roles and responsibilities. To me, the roles and responsibilities of people within society is what holds society together. I think that there are specific roles in the community for a reason. For example, police officers have a job to enforce the law and provide peace and protection within the community. If police officers were not a role within the community, citizens would be breaking the law and causing harm to others without fear of repercussions. Just the presence of a police officer could provide so much protection within the community. For example, a burglar is less likely to break into a home if he sees a police car parked outside. In my opinion, families and religion also hold society together. I think that without the concept of family, many people would not know where they fit in. Being around family is where we learn our core beliefs and values. Growing up around family can influence your thinking and create a vision for what you want your future to be. Growing up with my mom as a nurse, it made me want to be a nurse when I got older. For my brothers, my dad was heavily involved in basketball, and my brothers followed in his footsteps, and basketball became a part of their identity. Religion also gives people a sense of belonging and loyalty that they can provide a service to. Many of my friends growing up followed the religion of Mormonism, and that was a part of their identity and how they carried themselves out in the world. Also, following certain religions helped the community by providing community service and help to the homeless. I know in my religion, Christianity, it is important to help the homeless. Giving back to the less fortunate and doing God's work is a part of my identity. Without people in the community helping the less fortunate, there would be many more homeless people on the street. I can say firsthand that I have received lots of help from others, especially being in a city away from all of my family, and without that help, who knows where I would be now. The society that we live in has many different cultures, and having these cultures makes us a melting pot. I think that it is important that everyone is not the same. If everyone were the same, there would be no opportunity for growth or to learn new things. Certain customs can be taken and improved or copied from other cultures to use. This integration and learning from other cultures help hold society together by always pushing us to learn new things. All in all, social structure and social interaction rely on one another. We perform certain roles on our stage in real life, and by performing those roles, we help hold society together. I have attached my transcript and my references that I have used throughout my presentation.